Hey guys, Ryan Madges here and welcome to this video where we're going to be sharing with you the one thing that stops coaches from succeeding with their Facebook ads. Okay, we've been having a lot of people, we've been inundated with messages and questions relating to this because people at the end of the day, coaches are just getting frustrated with having to do manual prospecting and find their clients in an unleveraged manner, because the reality is they know it's not sustainable. And you know it's not sustainable because the statistics show that 81% of coaches fail in the first 3 years, which is just ridiculous. As the change agents on this world, we need to be able to take a stand and understand how to make Facebook ads work. Not because Facebook ads is the only way, it just happens to be a really good way to get your message in front of more people at the moment. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down what that one key is and then showing you how to combat that, the 5 keys to combating that, so you can really start to make this work, generate leads in your business, with leverage, and end up getting that cash machine. Because if you can put, $300 in and take $5,000 back, or we ran an ad recently, we put $350 in and then got $45,000 back, which is a huge ROI. And think about the impact that you can have with people by getting your message out there to thousands and thousands and thousands of prospects of people that are struggling and need your help. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The number one reason that coaches fail with Facebook ads is that they don't understand how to scale risk. Okay, so let me explain that. They don't understand how to scale risk with their ads, meaning that they go straight into things that are too high risk coming in two main forms. So the first way that risk can be measured is with financial investment. So when one of your prospects looks at an ad and sums up how risky it is, whether or not they should just go ahead and do it, they're summing up, is this going to cost me anything? And how much time is it going to take? And we're in an ADHD sort of age at the moment where people have 100 different tabs going on. So we really need to be able to make sure that we have something that's short, sharp, hugely valuable, but not too risky. So we need to understand how to scale that risk. Okay, so pretty much there's two main things. As you start to scale that risk, what happens if you can actually get people to engage with what you offer and the content that you provide, you start to build trust. And as you build trust, you can then scale the risk a little bit more, So what do I mean by that? What are some examples? Well, there's 5 things that you need to understand to combat this. The first one is understanding a funnel. I'm sure you've heard lots of internet marketers talking about having a funnel in place. What that pretty much means is having a system to take people, take traffic and break them down to a point right at the end where they become a client. So it's a process to take people from being, curious or cold to committed at the end. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples of how you can scale it up. So you start right on the bottom with free content. Okay. Free meaning there's no strings attached. You don't have to put in your email address. You don't need to put in any details. You get free access to it. So it's like your blog, interviews that you might do with other thought leaders, case studies that you might have, etc., etc. So you start off with the free, and that's the lowest risk, lowest time investment, and the most value. And there's no risk associated with that. Okay, short amount of time. So if you can get them short, sharp, and scale that with lots of value, then you're doing really well. Secondly, we move up to what we call hooks. Okay, now a hook is a way that you can hook somebody in and get them onto your email address. Not in a negative way, but hook them in the sense that it's a really hot topic, but it's a really low sort of time investment way to get people in, but they need to trade an email address. So it could be a quick little report, it could be a checklist, a blueprint, a cheat sheet, all of the above, something that's really small and easy to consume that they can trade their email address for. That's the next step. So you've given them free front-end stuff, hook them in, get them into your system, and then you can start to build more trust, scale that risk even more. So the next sort of level that you might go to is like a video series. Okay, get them to engage with longer videos, start to really build trust with them, and then after that you can start to get them to potentially buy not even buy, just register for a webinar, a free webinar, and take it to a next level, an intensive. And then after you've done that, you can move to what we call the bridge, which is the thing that bridges the gap between free content and paid content, so your course. Your premium courses, which you use to transform the lives of your niche. Okay, so if you've got that bridge and you've gone through all those steps and you've built up the trust, they now see you as a thought leader, they now have been indoctrinated to what you teach, and they're ready for that next step. But instead of doing Facebook ads where you're just saying, cool, come to my free 2-day event, or have a free session with me, that is way too high risk. So people look at that, no value's being given, they haven't consumed any of the stuff that you offer, So there's no compelling reason for them to want to do that. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand, the funnel, how to scale that risk. Secondly, you need to understand how to choose really good topics. So how to actually create value and content within that risk funnel that really engages and speaks to your target audience. So you're actually providing content that's relevant to them. You can't just do what's relevant in your head. You need to get inside your target market's head, figure out the hot buttons, the things they want to know the most. Thirdly, you need to really understand and make sure that you provide lots of value with that. Okay, so you've created an awesome topic, but make them really damn good. Like the solutions you give need to be right. You need to be great at what you offer and what you teach. And that's the third thing. The fourth thing, you need to be consistent. You need to be providing this value and marketing stuff out there all the time so you start to build that traction, build that hungry following, and get to a point where you've got a lot of people engaging with who you are. They're expecting your content. They're slowly scaling up with their levels of trust that you have and starting to consume things higher and higher risk till they get to the point where they jump in a bridge session with you, and then you can get them into your high-end stuff. And the last thing you need to do is you need to have longevity. You can't just do things consistently for 4 weeks and then drop off the radar. The more you do this, the cheaper your Facebook clicks are, the more your audience gets, the more trust they have, the higher your sales conversions are on the phone when they get into a session with you, and everything starts to build and get more momentum as you go along. So they're the 5 keys you need to understand to combat this, but the number one problem is that coaches don't scale the risk. They ask for too much up front. It's almost like going on a date with somebody and going straight in for the kiss as soon as you meet them. I mean, it just doesn't work. Okay, so you really need to understand that, and you need to use those 5 keys. So that's it for this video. Just go below now, and I want to hear your feedback. Okay, I want to know what you got from this and what are you going to do differently now. And secondly, if there's anybody else that you think will really benefit from what we just went through, feel free to share it. I mean, we get a lot of people sharing the content because if you can help a brother out and teach them some sort of lessons and mistakes that you've made, it's going to make a massive difference, and they'll thank you for that. So that's it for this video, guys. Have a phenomenal day and keep being your best. Peace out.